to bring smiles to 4-state children during the holiday season. Plus, fire engulfs a historic 4-state building overnight. In the passing of an American hero, we look at the legacy of Chuck Yeager.
The 4 states most watched news starts now.
A year that will never be forgotten by adults doesn't mean 4-state children should not have a wonderful holiday. And thanks to you helping the KOAM Toy Box, this will be a Christmas for them to remember as well. Thank you for joining us on the KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. This is our Toy Box Tuesday telethon, and that means you have the chance to call and make a donation that will help fill the KOAM Toy Box for 4-state children. Now, our friends at Bishop and Hayes are at our Joplin studios at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, ready to take your call. So grab your credit card and call 1-888-620-4TOY. We'll keep that number at the bottom of your screen. Now, we've been helping 4-state families with the KOAM Toy Box for the past 32 years. And as Kate Kelly joins us from today's call center, Kate, I understand the Toy Box efforts have left a lasting impression on one family from Allen County, Kansas.
That's right. Shannon Poore is a woman who actually remembers growing up with help from the Toy Box when she was a little girl. Now she's a mom herself, and she says Toy Box is still a fixture in her family. Shannon is a single mom with 3 kids, 2 little boys ages 6 and 10, and a little girl who will turn 5 in April. She says Christmas can be a challenge, and she understands what her parents went through trying to put presents under the tree. Toy Box was there for her family then, and it's there for her now. She hopes you'll all give what you can to help out families like hers. Since the beginning of the campaign in 1988, 4-state residents have helped KOAM make Christmas brighter for thousands of area families. Once again, we invite you to join us in the KOAM Toy Box, one of the area's largest toy drives to benefit.
Thanks, Kate. We'd like to give a shout out to Shirley Heaney from Joplin and Jerry Barnes from Pittsburgh, both of them calling in with $50 donations. Now, the number to call is 1-888-620-4TOY. Special thanks to our Toy Box elves from Bishop and Hayes for manning the phones. We're going to check back in with them in a little bit. Well, last night a fire engulfed the Olivia Apartments in downtown Joplin. The unoccupied building was recently named one of Missouri's 2020 places in peril by the Missouri Alliance for Historic Preservation. Our own Jesse Irwin is following the story. He has the latest.
Tanya, the call came in last night a little after 9:30. Fire crews worked late into the evening hours to extinguish the flames. The fire appeared to be mostly contained to the top floor of the building. Still, Joplin Fire Department brought in 2 ladder trucks and got the flames under control a little after midnight. And to reiterate, the building is unoccupied, and officials say there were no injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Now, back in October, Joplin City Council passed a resolution supporting a restoration plan for the building, which would have developed units for senior housing. So while we don't know the extent of the damage yet, it's unclear how this could affect the future of this century-old. Tanya, the call came in last night a little after 9.
Thank you, Jesse. Well, Missourians could be asked to do their own contact tracing if their local health departments become too overwhelmed. And the state put out new guidance encouraging local health departments to shift resources to case investigations if they become too overwhelmed with new cases. At that point, they would be able to ask positive cases to contact anyone they've had close contact with and ask them to quarantine. Both Newton and Jasper County say they're still doing all of their contact tracing, but it's become a challenge.
You know, we've recently had cases that were associated with weddings or school events or things of that nature, and so you end up with more contacts in situations like that than you would just someone who's primarily had household contacts. So in those situations, it does become a little more time-consuming.
For any health department that makes that shift, the state expects them to go back to contact tracing once the numbers in the area are reduced. Now, St. Louis and Buchanan counties have already made that shift. Well, warmer temperatures are on the way here as we approach the middle of December. Michael joins us now with a first look at weather.
Yeah, it's something else. We really can't complain because we got a big warming trend on the way, but I tell you what, Tanya, that's quickly going to change just in time for the weekend. Live look from the Skywatch Storm Tracker, just a little cloud cover up to the far northern section of our highlighted counties, and a beautiful view from the Freeman Health System sky camera, where we sit at 51 degrees already at the noon hour. Now, as we progress into the middle of the week, check out these temperatures as we're going to approach 70, perhaps getting close to a record. Coming up here in just a little bit, we'll talk about the warming trend as well as the rug getting pulled out from under us as we hit the weekend. Now, nationally speaking, I believe Tanya's going to take us down to the Deep South because we've got some news coming out of the Peach State.
That's right. Topping Nation Watch, officials in Georgia recertify the results of its presidential election. The state's second recount was requested by the Trump campaign. Once again, it showed President-elect Biden winning by a margin of roughly 12,000 votes. CBS News reports President-elect Biden intends to nominate Lloyd Austin as his Secretary of Defense. Austin is a former four-star Army general who retired in 2016. If confirmed by the Senate, the 67-year-old will become the first African-American to lead the Pentagon. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, a military hero and the first person to break the sound barrier passes away at the age of 97. Take a look back at his remarkable career. And later, a giving tradition here at KOAM, our Toy Box Tuesday telethon, and a special thanks for donations from Paul Friendly from Joplin, Mary Wilson from Fort Scott. You can call and donate just like them, and we'll do the shopping for you. The lines are open. Let's make this the best Christmas ever. Well, there's nothing that gets us into the Christmas spirit like filling the KOAM Toy Box, and this is our 32nd year of making Christmas merry for area families. Our friends at Bishop and Hayes are ready to take your call, and we've got a couple of challenges going on right now. Agee Farms from Nevada donated $100, and they're challenging all John Deere collectors to match. And Paul McKinney from Wyandotte donated $20. He's calling on all of his fellow Indigo Sky employees and friends to match. Whatever you can do will make a difference for a four-state child this Christmas. Well, legendary Air Force pilot Chuck Yeager was the first person to break the sound barrier, becoming an American hero. Yeager died last night at the age of 97. John Berman shows us the man behind the right stuff.
General Charles M. Chuck Yeager was the very embodiment of the right stuff. He will forever be known as the first man to break the sound barrier. Born in 1923 in rural West Virginia, Yeager says he was not a born pilot.
I didn't know anything about flying because I'd never been in an airplane in my life.
Yeager joined the Army as an aircraft mechanic at the start of World War II. His first airplane ride didn't go so well.
I puked all over my airplane. I said to myself, man, you've made a big mistake.
Pressing on, Yeager took advantage of an Army program that offered enlisted men the opportunity to become pilots.
I remember March 4th, 1944, on my 8th mission, I shot down ME-109 right over the middle of Berlin with the Mustang. Next day, I got shot down.
When the war ended, Yeager returned to California to marry his sweetheart, Glennis Dickhouse. Yeager later became a research pilot at Edwards Air Force Base, making dangerous test flights civilian pilots couldn't or wouldn't do.
It's like combat. You know, you either get killed or you don't. Well, if you have no control over it, don't worry about it.
That's how he found himself 45,000 feet above Rogers Dry Lake in California on October 14, 1947. Breaking the sound barrier, a feat many believed could not be done.
I don't look at things, you know, as being scary or not. You either do or you don't. And if you live, hey, you've done your job.
Yeager eventually returned to combat flying and retired from active duty in 1975 as a brigadier general. The general, as he preferred to be called, became a household name in the 80s with the book and movie The Right Stuff.
Did you like watching someone else play you?
Yeah, it was fun. Sam Shepard did an excellent job.
Shepard did,
yeah.
right?
Through it all, Yeager remained airborne. In 2012, at the controls of a borrowed Air Force F-15, an 89-year-old Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier again, 65 years to the minute after his first sonic boom. Yeager's logbook documented more than 10,000 flight hours over 60 years in 350 different kinds of planes around the world. Always a pilot with the right stuff.
NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine called Yeager's death a tremendous loss to our nation. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Nothing says happy holidays like homemade treats, and the ones we're making today are as sweet as they come.
First, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Once again, welcome to a KOAM Toy Box Tuesday telethon. Once again, that number, 888-620-4TOY, 888-620-4TOY. And thanks to all of you who have put a smile on children's faces during the holiday season for the past 3 decades. Can't thank you enough. And for those of you that make this an annual event to donate, I want to thank you in advance for everything that you do. It's wonderful to be here in the studio, just surrounded by these toys and knowing that they're going to, eventually end up in the hands of some kid, and they're going to wake up on Christmas, and it's going to be delightful. Now, we'll get a feeling of December here by the time we get to the weekend, but for the time being, it's actually going to be a great warming trend. One thing Tanya and I have been talking about with these beautiful blue skies and whatnot, it's a great time to get out, check out the celestial events that we have overnight. Once again, you're going to have Mars in between 8 and 9. Venus looks gorgeous in the morning. And remember, coming up here in a few days, we've got the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. That being said, we'll keep our eyes on that record right there. That one is 73. Not today, but just kind of eyeball our records here as we go through the next couple of days, because I don't think we're going to break them, but we're certainly going to approach them. Now, 1991, 73 degrees. We're going to be mid-50s today, but certainly nothing to complain about as we see 49 in Miami, 54 in Chanute, and 53 right now in Aurora. And that's about a 20-25 degree push-up from where we were this morning when we had the freezing temperatures. As far as where we stand outside the mothership, we sit at 51 degrees. Nice thing is that wind is just going to be very calm for the next couple of days. We do see a little circular motion with a low pressure that's pushing over the Ozarks right now as it shifts back and forth. But that makes a big difference when it comes to our morning temperatures because we don't really have that wind chill that's kicking in. It's an interesting contiguous 48 that we have. Low pressure trough of the jet stream all the way over the northeastern portion of the United States. But look at how dry everything is. That's not good when you get west of the Rockies. Critical fire weather right over there. High pressure for us, riding right down on the stream, and that also means much warmer temperatures as we progress into the weekend. So we'll go high 50s today. We'll see a 57, a 58 pop up every now and then. Don't think we'll see a whole lot of 60s on the board. But I think here's the key factor as we work into tonight/tomorrow morning. Our temperatures well above freezing. So any of that patchy fog that we anticipate picking up because our humidity has been higher, don't need to worry about that freezing on those bridges and overpasses. That's a great thing. So as Future Track shows us, all the cloud cover, you go east of the Ozarks. Let us settle in and just have absolutely delightful middle week temperatures. But Tanya, here's the factor as you laugh about the for real toy at the Skywatch Weather Center, chattering away. We're going to make it up into the 60s here by the time we get into the middle of the week. I don't think we'll break any records, but at the same point in time, it is going to be absolutely delightful. Cold front coming in this weekend. Computer just jumped on. It's all right. Cold front coming in this weekend, so take advantage of the next 3 days.
I think you should grab that for real toy. You can't quite see it in the shot,
Here,
so
I love organic TV.
take us behind the scenes.
No, I love organic television at its finest.
It's a little motion sensor here. Yeah. A cute little kitty that just wants to.
Our own Shelly
get some
Saporito
attention.
asked me to bring this down to the studio. You can hear it purring and chattering away. And Shelly, I just want you to know that this is going to make some some 4-state child's Christmas that much brighter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just one example of one of the many toys that we could purchase for the KOAM Toy Box if you call in and donate today.
So thank you, Shelley, for this. Means a lot to children of the 4 states.
All right, thanks, Michael. Today, we're giving you a chance to make a difference in the lives of 4-state families, and it's as easy as making a phone call. Our telethon operators from Bishop and Hayes are ready to take your call and donations for the KOAM Toy Box. And a special thanks to the Pattersons and the Heatons from Carl Junction, both contributing $20 to the KOAM Toy Box. And also thank you to Robert and Linda Cook from Webb City. Your $50 is greatly appreciated. Just call and donate any amount. The number to call, 1-888-64-TOY. And we will do the shopping for you. Well, fudge is meant to melt in your mouth, and today's recipe is so light and creamy it does just that. Howard shows us how to make melt-away peanut butter fudge in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Over the years here in the Test Kitchen, we've shared lots of homemade holiday gift ideas. Everything from freshly baked quick breads to holiday cookies. And it's always nice to hear from you how much these edible treats are appreciated. So in order to keep this tradition going, today we're sharing a few of our favorite homemade fudge recipes. Imagine presenting your boss or neighbor with a box of the super rich chocolate walnut fudge. And if you love the cozy feeling that goes hand in hand with gingerbread, then you might want to consider making a batch of our holiday gingerbread fudge. And while both of these are amazing, one that stands out the most is our peanut butter fudge. It's simply mix, heat, stir, chill, cut, and enjoy. And when you present these in a holiday tin or on a plate all fancied up, get ready for lots of oohs and ahs. So right after the news, why don't you go to our website and get the recipe for melt-away peanut butter fudge along with the chocolate walnut fudge and our holiday gingerbread fudge. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a creamy, fudgy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We still have a couple of more minutes to call and make your donation to the KOAM Toy Box, but you better hurry. Call 1-888-6204-TOY and make your donation using a credit card or debit card. We'd like to thank our friends at Bishop and Hayes for joining us in our Toy Box call center. We'll continue with our Toy Box Tuesday telethon tonight at 5 and 6. You can make your donation anytime on KOAMnewsnow.com or on the KOAM News Now app.
I got a feeling we got time to do a 7-day forecast on this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think we do. Yeah. Look at this, warming up into the 70s, high 60s, whole lot of sunshine. Cold front moving in this weekend. Isn't that something else? It's going to be great. Such a delightful weekend that we have till the cold front gets here on Friday. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.
If you see news happening, tell us about it.